Hello and welcome back. Happy holidays. And I'm going to kick things off with a review of a holiday movie. One of my favorites, personally. Probably my all time favorite. And that is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Let me tell you, I just rewatched this the other night with my dad. And let me tell you, still holds up to this day. Still remains my favorite Christmas movie of all time. And let me tell you, it is the best of the National Lampoon's Vacation series. I mean, I can go on like how it's better than the others, but I'm going to focus mainly on this movie. And let me tell you, everyone in this movie works so well together. I mean, Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, Juliette Lewis, John Galensky, or how you say his last name, the guy who went on to be Leonard in Big Bang Theory, Doris Day, Randy Quaid. I mean, everyone in this movie just works so well together. Brian Doyle Murray as Clark's boss. I mean, he steals every scene he's in. And let me tell you, I just could not stop laughing. And any movie that does that for me in a good way, let me tell you, it's going to make top of the list for me on one of my favorite comedies and Christmas movies of all time. And this definitely makes that mark. So yeah, I mean, great opening animated intro to the opening credits. I thought that was just smart there, and it just sets the tone for the movie. It's definitely meant to be funny, and it delivers on every aspect. And let me tell you, the other scene stealers were uh, Julia Louis Dreyfus. I mean, she is great as the neighbor. And let me tell you, her and her boyfriend basically in that movie were. I mean, it was just fun to see them get all like riled up and all that over stuff Clark was doing next door. And let me tell you, every scene of this movie, I mean, from the start to the end, the start, of course, going to the Christmas tree lot, driving to the Christmas tree, get the Christmas tree, only to find out he didn't bring a saw with him to cut the tree. So they had to pull it out and put it on the car. I mean, that's just crazy. I don't know how they did that. That's just insane. But wow. Of course, it starts off with the whole avoiding bad driver, only to get stuck underneath a truck. And let me tell you, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. And let me tell you, in a movie, it works, but in real life, don't do it. Then, of course, it leads to the Christmas tree getting home. And of course, the neighbor's like, where are you going to put a tree that big? Bend over and I'll show you. Oh my goodness. You got a lot of nerve talking to me like that. I wasn't talking to you. And then, like, ooh. How he just goes all Jason Voorhees, the chainsaw and the mask. I mean, that was great. That was just great. And then, of course, when they decide to start the tree up, and all of a sudden, just spreads all over, hits everyone, gets sap on them. So, of course, yep, sticky. And of course, Clark's boss. I mean, the two scenes that always crack me up. When you first see him, Clark, that's Bill, sir. You don't mind giving that nuclear harness? Yes. Lane and stern. None of that insight. Nobody understands. So yeah, I thought that was great. I thought he was great. I always like Brian Doyle Murray and everything he's in, but he steals every scene in this movie. Then of course, when they're putting the lights up and all that, of course, leading that icicle just flying through the window and just destroying the stereo of the neighbor. And the neighbors are trying to figure out what caused all this to happen. Well, something obviously had to break the window. Something had to break the stereo. And why is the carpet all wet, Todd? I don't know, Margo. You can tell at times he just gets irritated with her, but it's so funny though. And then, of course, trying to light it up only for it to not be working. Eventually, just as they're like plugging in stuff, all of a sudden it starts to light up and work. And it scares off and it annoys the neighbors because it's so bright and they're trying to drink in the dark and have a romantic time. And it just ruins it for them. Oh my god. And of course, that's when Cousin Eddie shows up. And of course, Clark's Eddie? Eddie? Like, you did not expect him to come. Wanted to surprise him. So yeah. And you see the chemistry between Clark and Eddie in this movie develop as the movie goes on. And you can tell, yeah, there's definitely like Clark's trying to be good. I think out of the sake for Ellen. And the sake it's Christmas. So yeah. As much as he may not fully like the guy, he tries to be good. And in return, Eddie does something good for him in return as well. So of course we get to Uncle Lewis and Aunt Bethany showing up. And of course, yes, the cat in the Christmas gift box. Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone doing that. But wow. And overall, and then of course the turkey exploding. I mean, so another scene that Clark's boss is funny. Clark walks in, the boss originally is on a call, and he's getting all mad. Like, what's the excuse in this time? Oh, retooling. Great excuse. Retooling, I'll retool you. And then, of course, Clark brings the gift. And you notice the gifts, they all look the same. That is so funny. And then, of course, excuse me, I'm in a middle. Now, if you excuse me, I'm important. I'm a very important call. He picks up the phone. Like, give me somebody. Anybody. And give me somebody while I'm waiting. And, of course, the sled. I mean, that just always cracks me up. Puts that special lubricant stuff for cooking and all that on the sled. And as he takes off really fast, lean up to him crashing at a Walmart. Bingo. Of course, Clark is waiting for his bonus to arrive because he has plans of putting a pool in at his place. And let me tell you, that's awesome of him that he wants to do something like that for his family. Now, granted, it is in Chicago. And Chicago, of course, it's going to snow, get really cold. But give the man credit for being a family man. It's something I've always liked. People who are family people. That family oriented is very important in life. Let me tell you, it helps in the long run. So, of course, eventually he gets something from the company, but it's not a bonus. Apparently, bonuses were cut out this year. Jelly of the Month Club. So let me tell you, cold of what the boss did there. So Clark wants his boss here in a ribbon. And Cousin Eddie's like, I could do that. So then, of course, Eddie leaves, grabs Clark's boss, brings him back. Just at the moment where Clark's reciting The Night Before Christmas. Eddie, the man in chains, the bow. And of course, Clark's boss. And of course, the boss explains he cut out bonuses. And of course, they call him out on it. And of course, that's when the boss's wife had called the police. And of course, before that, of course, there's that squirrel incident. They manage to get the squirrel out. And the squirrel lands on Julie Louis-Dreyfus' character. And then the dog pounces on her just to get the squirrel. Because, of course, the guy was not man enough to go confront Clark. So then, of course, when she comes back and kicks him out after a big punch to his face. So, yeah. And, of course, as the SWAT's arriving, they knock on first her door. And then, of course, she says, if you're going to want in, you're going to have to kick down the door. And then, like, okay. So, yeah, careful what you say to the police. So if you tell them if you want it, you gotta kick the door and let me down. And let me tell you, they will. If you say that to them, they will, without any hesitation. So of course, the boss explains the misunderstanding, and even the police chief was not happy with him for the whole cutting the bonuses out. And you know what? I don't blame him. I would be pissed too. Because let me tell you, that's just cold. But then he decides he's going to reinstate the Christmas bonuses. So he finally did something right. And it leads to a great ending. And a good heartfelt ending too. So overall, I mean, this is just a great movie. Lots of laughs. You will definitely get entertained with this movie. I give this a full 5 out of 5. Hands down, my favorite holiday movie of all time. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment down below what you think of this movie and your favorite National Lampoon Vacation movie as well in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching.